back to my channel. So let's talk about Amber and TC and Puppy in this season finale. So Amber, she calls up Queen, Puppy, and Queen calls up some muscle to help Amber move out of TC's place. So then TC pulls up in the driveway and everybody's super anxious, and luckily it was only Amber, Puppy, and Queen there at the time, like all the muscle, the dudes that came over that were helping box up everything. But then they had already left, thank God. So TC walks in, but we already know how TC does not like anybody over at his house. Like, he made such a big deal about Puppy coming over at first, and then he walks in and then he has Puppy, Queen all over at his house unannounced, and he's like, okay. But he already knew something was up, and Amber already had a lot of her stuff sitting around packed up in boxes with the whole me sticker on them. So Amber told Puppy and Queen to go into her bedroom and finish packing stuff so she could talk to TC. And so they go and they pack the stuff. And she's telling TC, she's like, look, I came home, the place was a disaster. And I've told you plenty of times I can't keep doing this on myself. You have to pick up after yourself. And she's like, maybe if you would have picked up after yourself, we could actually had a talk. But the fact you won't listen to me, you're not taking anything I say serious, I'm going to show you with my actions how serious I am. And I'm packing up and I'm leaving. And at the time, TC didn't really seem like he was that bothered or like he really cared. He almost kind of seemed like he was relieved that it was finally over at first. And she's trying to explain, like, look, you weren't there for me with the baby. He's like, oh, is that what it was? Just playing dumb to the whole situation. And then she is sitting there and talking to him. She's like, look, I want that truck out of my name in the next week, because they both put $5,000 in that truck. And she had to put her name on it because she said he couldn't get the truck by himself. And she's like, look, you are not about to ruin my credit. So TC didn't really seem like he even gave a damn. But once she said that he was going to have to give her that truck, oh boy, did he start tripping. He jumps up and he jumps up in her face, screaming in her face. And if he's going to do that on camera, I can't even imagine how he's behind closed doors. But she jumps back up and she bucks up right to his face, and they're screaming back and forth at each other. And she's like, if you're not going to give me the truck, then I'll come take that truck in the middle of the night. And he says he refuses to give her the truck, and the only way she's going to get the truck is she takes him to court. And she's like, no, you're going to take me to court. Because, obviously neither one of them want to pay to take it to court. But Amber was still doing him a favor because she says she put $5,000 on that truck, and so did he. And she said that he couldn't even get the truck without her name on it. And all she asked was for him to take the truck off her name, so don't hurt her credit. She didn't even ask for her $5,000 back that she put on it. She was just willing to let him have the truck as long as he took her name off of it. But he knows that he can't afford the truck by himself without her name on it, so that's why he got so upset. So Amber got really upset because, here she is really heartbroken because she really cares about the man, and all he cares about is this damn truck, and he's not showing any kind of empathy, and he's not trying to fight for his relationship with Amber at all. And I really feel like at this point, she still thought in her head that there's still a chance. I think she thought, I'll pack my stuff up, I'll leave for a few days, I'll teach him a lesson, he'll wake up, and then he'll call me back, and then we can work things out. But I think once TC reacted the way he did and didn't really comfort her or show that he cared about her or the relationship as a whole, I think that's why she got so upset, and she just started freaking out, and Queen and Puppy were surrounding her, trying to calm her down. She had to go outside and smoke a cigarette to calm down, and she just does not understand why TC hates her so much. And I'm sorry, but what was this on the ground? They kept showing this on the camera. Is that ketchup? What the heck is that? And another thing is, yes, she's upset because he's not cleaning up after himself, but I would be even more upset knowing that he knows there's camera crews that are going to be coming around filming the house. Why would you want your house looking like that knowing there's camera crews coming around like that? I would be so embarrassed. So anyways, Amber comes back inside and she sits down with TC and she's explaining to him, look, I just wish you cared just a little bit. She's like, you've been done with me for a long time and I can see that now. And TC really didn't have much to say about that because he knows that's the truth. But he's like, look, so the baby thing is really what messed you up? And she said yes, and she started breaking down. And then right then TC started breaking down, which I was actually really shocked, which I think was super good for him to finally be able to let his tears out, because I feel like tears really cleanse the soul. Like, society, I hate how society makes it seem like men who show emotions are weak, and that's why we have people like TC who are afraid to let it out. But they need to realize that that is perfectly okay and healthy to do things like that. So TC was like, look, you know, when you told me you were pregnant, I done already gave the baby the name. I was imagining its face. Which just made me so sad when he said that, because he was already starting to develop a bond with that baby. So when he found out the baby was no longer here, it completely shattered not only Amber, but him as well. So he was breaking down, and Amber came over and started comforting him, telling him it's okay. And she was telling him, like, look, it's okay to cry. Just cry, let it out. And he just kept explaining he does not know how to deal with emotions. He doesn't know how to let it out. But he's like, look, I know it's important to let it out, because otherwise it's just going to keep building and building. And Amber gave him a hug, and at that moment, I was kind of scared. I'm like, oh man, Amber's going to feel sorry for him. Which I'm not saying don't feel sorry for him, because I do feel sorry for TC, and she has every right to feel sorry for him. But I'm saying I was scared that she was going to allow her guilt to talk her into giving him another chance and rekindling things once again, especially when she put her arms around him and started kissing him. I was like, oh no, she's just gonna like forget everything and then probably just, you know, go to bed with him and wake up like nothing happened. But thank God Amber was like, look, you don't know how to love and show emotion. I don't know how to handle that, and I need somebody who's going to show me love. So I think it's best we just remain friends. You know, I'm always going to care about you. And I'm glad that she was able to say that. I'm so proud of Amber. And that was just a very mature response to give TC. So I'm glad they were able to end things off on a good note. And then at the end of the episode, we got an update, and Amber ended up following through. She's officially done with TC, and she ended up moving in with Queen and Puppy. And shout out to Queen, because she is just a queen, because here she is. She's not even in a relationship, but she's having to deal with all sorts of other relationship drama from all her friends. But that is one loyal, solid friend. So shout out to her for letting Amber and Puppy move in with her, because if it wasn't for Queen, then Amber and Puppy might have stayed in these toxic relationships a lot longer than they should have, because they didn't have no plan B. And that's just the sad truth for many women out there. They stay in relationships way longer because they don't have no other option. They do stuff like Puppy, and they don't work, and they depend on their man and let them control them. And then when they're no longer happy and that relationship's no longer serving them, they don't have no plan B to get out of there. So shout out to Queen for giving them a plan B and being there for them. And at this point, Amber and Puppy just need to get back together. But honestly, I hope and wish them the best and much success. And I hope they find true love. I think Amber needs to get some counseling, and so does TC. They both really need to talk, and I think that would be really good for them to speak with a therapist to help deal with that trauma, because I couldn't even imagine having to go through something like that, and it is not good to keep bottling something like that in. And I really think Amber needs to try to get her drinking under control and work on that, work on herself before she worries about getting another relationship. And if she isn't able to get her drinking under control, I really think her family and friends need to sit down and stage an intervention before this gets any worse, because I don't want to see Amber spiral anymore, and it's getting pretty bad. The longer time goes on since she's began drinking like that, it's just getting worse and worse, and I really don't want to see something bad happen to Amber. But that's it for this video, guys. I also want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, Temu. Temu is an online marketplace where you can get pretty much everything under the sun. They have beauty items, they have makeup, they have jewelry, clothing, shoes, electronics, household items, organizations. I'm a big fan. I already made my 3rd order. I'm obsessed with this site. But if you're interested in checking out this site, you can click the link in the description, and you can use my code FAB31796 for 30% off your order as a first-time user. I will leave all the info for you guys in the description. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching.